Started. If you will, call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Matheson?
Here.
Mr. Payne?
Here.
Ms. Reese? Here. Mr. Carlton?
Here.
Mr. Peak?
Here.
And if you would, let's stand. I'll ask Mr. Payne to lead us in the pledge. We'll have a moment of silence first and then the pledge. Mr. Payne.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any recognition? All right. We have Chassie Timms for football.
Before she speaks, I just wanted to, I told her I'd do this. This is that they do annually. She wanted to come by to speak to you all about the youth league football season that's upcoming, and just get your permission. So, youth league president Jesse.
All right.
Our very first practice starts July 18th, and we usually go till like the last part of October. We should have between 3 and 4 home games that we'll be using the field up here. Other than that, all of our practices will take place at Rouse Park.
Did Coach say you talked to the head coach of the high school?
I have. I've still got to meet with him because he's talking about doing like a summer camp with the footballers, and then the cheerleaders are actually going to meet with the cheer coach up there as well.
Okay, good deal. I don't have any problem with it.
Anybody have any objections? All right. Thank you.
We appreciate you guys doing that. I know that takes a lot of your time.
All right. Next item is our consent agenda. If you would, look at the consent agenda if anybody wants anything pulled off. Otherwise, we'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Mr. Long,
1 second.
second by Mr. Payne. Any discussion? If you will, call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. And I see where you got the prom in there.
Yes. Already got that scheduled for next year.
All right.
What do you say?
Next item is a report from our student board member, Matthew Peak.
All right. So for the high school for the month of May, for Friday, May 13th, we got 2 things going on. We got the CTE Career Quest field trip. It'll be held at ETSU. And we got the FFA. We hold a banquet in the high school cafeteria. On Tuesday, May 17th at 6 p.m., the senior awards night. This will be held in the high school gym. On Wednesday, May 18th, we have freshmen and sophomores who will take the pre-ACT. On Wednesday, May 18th is the senior walk, senior picnic, and college signing day for all seniors. Thursday, May 19th is graduation practice. Saturday, May 21st at 10 a.m. is graduation. And before I end this, I'd like to personally say I'll send my condolences to Dr. Simcox over here for the loss of your father. I just want to know that me and my family have you in our prayers. We lost so much in 2022 that's insane.
Thank you, Matthew.
You're welcome.
All right, the next item is to approve the following candidates for tenure: Caitlin Vincent, Samantha Childers, and Lyne Stalvry.
And they are all 3 here. So if I could, I want to ask them to stand up so you can put a face. I know you got the portfolios from Angie. Caitlin, she teaches pre-K and kindergarten at Laurel, does a wonderful job. Then we got Samantha Childers. She does 3rd grade at Mountain City Elementary. And then Lynn Stalvey does 6th grade at Roan Creek Elementary. And we do highly recommend these 3 for tenure.
All right. That's great. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I make a motion, we approve all 3 of them.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Payne. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
This has got a second from Ms. Reese. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, the next item is FRC report for the 21-22 school year. Miss Edna.
you will have to excuse me. I'm not the best speaker and I'm kind of nervous. So just wanted to share with you, you all hear about the FRC and the different things that we do. Mr. Matheson, get out of your way.
And FRC is?
The Family Resource Center. So we wanted to share with you some of the things that we have done this year. And before we actually go to the slides, just want you to know that this year alone, we have served 171 students, and that is unduplicated. So families unduplicated that we have served is 103. So several of these we have served in other capacities, so but unduplicated, it's 171 and 103. The referrals, we have made 91 referrals to other agencies within the community or within our region that we do not have the capability to help them with. That is with utilities, medical, mental health, just different things that we could not do. And I will give a huge shout out to Keisha Rudy. Without Keisha, we could have not done all that we have done this year, because Keisha is our social worker. She's our first year social worker. She is my right-hand woman, and she is absolutely awesome. Case management, we have 5 families that we have on case management, and that simply means that we are working with that family and with that students with the students all year long, whether it be for food, for housing, utilities, whatever, but we do have 5 families that we do have caseloads on. So we are helping them. Wanted you to see the sources of in-kind, and we do have to report this to the state as well. And some of these slides are the same information, it's just over and over, because the state wants us to look at it in different ways, even though it says the same thing. So I'm just going to kind of let you look at this one right here. 24% of our in-kind comes from businesses, and they have given us, and remember this is in kind, over $10,173.94. Sorry, but I love my kids. One company itself gave us over $8,000 in items that we asked for. Didn't question us, didn't do anything, just said, please come pick it up. And so we did. We had one faith-based source of in-kind with a value of $500, and they are the ones that donated most of the laundry items that we have downstairs. 25% of the in-kind came from civics group with a value of $10,700. 37% came from nonprofit agencies at a value of $16,065. 12% came from government agencies at a value of $5,250. And by that, we're meaning like health department, taking the Head Start and pre-K kids up there. We had one secondary student just having a horrible time. We called around, they took care of his dental care for us. 1% came from individual contributions at a value of $300. So for a total of in-kind, that's $42,988.94. We were given food items, we were given school supplies, we were giving clothing, we were giving cleaning supplies, hygiene products, and I mean, I'm not talking about cheap clothing. They went to mall and got good stuff. Some of these companies did. So that's just another way of looking at it. Rob, you're doing a wonderful job. You can keep going. Okay. I want to talk about grants and funding, and these are the people that actually gave us, monetary donations. 82% came from businesses at a total of 1,350. 12% of our monetary donations were from nonprofit agencies at a total of $200. And we had 6% of our grant funding came from civics group at a total of $100, which is $1,650. If you do not know, and to give a shout out to the senior citizens, Kathy Mossinger and the Senior Citizens Center partnered with us to get us $1,000 from that grant and the funding. And so we wrote the grant together. They knew that the grant money was basically going for us. And so we want to shout out, a big shout out, thank you to them for allowing us to work with them to get that money. Okay, Rob? And again, okay. Before I go into I'll just do partnerships right now. I'm not going to tell you who all we are partnered with. If you want to know, I'll be happy to tell you later, but we do have 10 businesses that are partnering with us. I do want to give out a shout out to Hairworks and Lisa's Salon, because they did donate their time where you would think they would take their days off to go cut hair for the kids, but instead they closed their shops on the day that they would be working. They closed their shops and went to the high school and the middle school and cut hair for students who could not afford it otherwise. And Laurel found out. And so they did the same thing at Laurel. So they are 2 of our businesses. We are partnered with 4 civics group, 1 faith-based, 1 government agency, 6 nonprofit agencies. So right now we are partnering with 22 companies and hope to do more next year. Keep going. Volunteer hours. Our volunteer hours, 100% of the volunteer hours came from businesses, and 2 of those were Hairworks and Lisa's Salon, and the other one was my husband, because where he works, he goes in Walmart every day as part of his business, and so they know what I do, so they always let him know we've got this on sale. So that's where some of the money that's actually donated to us, we bought 93, I can't even remember now. That's where the cereal came from that we gave out. So, and he transports that in his truck, which takes a lot of gas, back and forth for me. So that comes to a total of $313.94. So if you add up all this stuff, we have a total of $44,952.88 that was either given us in monetary donations or in kind. And that's what we do. Are there any questions?
Ms. Miller, on the food items, now do you give this directly to the kids to take home, or?
On the food items, the Second Harvest Food Bank, when they do the baskets the bags every month, that goes directly with the students.
Okay.
I have had families contact us, and we have gone grocery shopping, but when we do that, we take it to the families and themselves. Next year, I just put in my application, but my action plan for next year. And one of the things that we're going to focus on next year is a family emergency food box, because we have so many families that are reaching out to us, calling us, I need food, and the only thing we can do right now is send them to a food pantry. Sometimes they're not open when they need them. So I already talked to a business today, and they said they are going to help us. So that's one of the things that we will do. And the parents will come here and pick that up, just like they do any other the hygiene items and other things that we have. So,
Pretty amazing.
Yes, it is.
She does a great job.
thank you.
You wouldn't even think that this is a part of the school system.
No, we try to get the word out there. We've got it on Facebook, we have it on our website, and lots of people just don't realize it's there, even though we try to get it out there as much as possible.
Great job.
Yeah, it is.
Good job.
All right, the second and final reading of TSBA recommended changes on the following policy, board members' legal status.
Yes, the only thing that is, and this is TSBA recommended, is it deletes just the word on a nonpartisan basis from board policy 1.102.
Change because of the law.
Changed because of the law that recently went into effect.
All right, do we have a motion?
I move.
Got a motion from Mr. Long, do we have a second?
Yes. I'll second.
Second from Ms. Reese, any discussion? All right, if you would call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Second and final reading of Johnson County Board of Education Policy Committee recommended changes on the following policies: complaints and grievances, Title IX, and sexual harassment.
Yes, and what those are, in those policies, we have to identify a male and a female that oversees investigations of any type of grievance, Title IX issues, and for that we have Dr. Long and then Ms. Paula Norton, but Ms. Norton is retiring. So we're replacing that with Dr. Imogene South, so she can handle the females. Dr. Stephen Long will handle the males, but we have to have them identified in board policy.
That's TSBA already.
Yes.
Seen that.
Well, they will when you
Approve
receive
it.
this.
I thought we told Paula she couldn't retire.
We did, she didn't listen.
You didn't listen, Paula. Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
All right, Mr. Long's made a motion, do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Payne's got a second, any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese? Yes. Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Our 5-year plan update. This is updated monthly on our school district website. And you want to make any comments on this?
Just that part of our plan is that a component will be addressed at every monthly board meeting. It is on the website now. You all approved it last month, so we'll start addressing issues starting in June.
Okay.
That will impact the 22 school year.
All right. Approve the first amendment to the statement of agreement between Tennessee Corrections Academy, Johnson County School, and Connections Education LLC, Pearson Online and Blended Learning K-12, effective April 14th.
Yes, this is where with Connections Academy, if you remember when we had budget discussions, currently they receive 98% of the funding for the state. Remember, we have two. This is for the state Connections Academy, the Tennessee one. They receive 98%, we receive 2%. We get to keep 2%. Went to renegotiations with them. I started at 15, they started at 3. So I went down to 12, they stayed at 3. They stayed at 3. But this is just saying instead of us getting to keep 2%, we will get to keep 3%, which will be approximately based on this year's data, we'll get to keep anywhere from $400,000 to $500,000. And the rest will flow through to them. So that's compared to about 250 that we kept last year.
Okay. And their enrollment has increased?
Their enrollment has increased. They actually have more students than we have in our system. So that's doubled our enrollment.
Good deal. Any questions on this? Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Payne. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Long's made a second. Any discussion? All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Ooh, the next one's a long
That's a
one.
long one.
My voice is about gone. This one is approve the attached opt-in voice services agreement between Education Networks of America, ENA, and the Johnson County Schools. Like the Internet Services Agreement approved by the board in March of 2020, this multi-year extension with ENA provides VoIP services to Johnson County Schools until the end of the current Metro Nashville contract for internet connectivity, which is June 30th of 2026. In addition to guaranteed VoIP service, Johnson County Schools will receive an additional 33% increase of bandwidth, load balance between two carriers for increased speed, reliability, and resilience, while decreasing the overall cost between the internet data and voice services by $4,000. You're gonna have to explain that one.
Well, Rob is going to explain this.
Okay.
This is our internet provider through ENA. So I told Rob he has to explain this one. This is his baby.
I'll do the best I can from back here. Essentially, this is an opportunity that ENA has provided for us. You know, we've been with them for a number of years, and we do have the multi-year contract for data. They're offering this VoIP, which is our voice services contract, which will be a multi-year agreement until the end of the Metro Nashville contract, which is what expires in 2026. And what they're willing to do in order or to assist us with this, we sign on with our voice services until the end of that contract. They're willing to increase our bandwidth, our overall bandwidth. But in addition to that, a lot of districts out there are going to a multi-carrier solution. You've got hackers, you've got all kinds of indiscriminate people out there who are attacking networks. And this will be a multi-carrier solution which provides 50% of our bandwidth through a CenturyLink portal and 50% of our bandwidth through another portal like Charter Internet or something like that. So that way it increases the strength of our networks, gives us a constant flow in and out regardless of whether there's problems on one carrier's network or another. All the while, in addition to doing that, they're decreasing, there's a slight increase on the data side of cost, but there is a major decrease on the voice side. They're willing to reduce that by like $16,000. So while we see an increase of $12,000 on the data side because of the multiple carriers, the voice side of the contract would actually go down. We end up netting an additional $4,000 in savings while we get 33% more bandwidth throughout the district, and it's a multi-tiered solution. So that way it increases the resilience of the network. So
That's gonna help all the schools, everything. It's gonna help
Absolutely.
everything.
That's the networking in the classrooms we're speaking of, right, on the internet part.
the biggest part of this contract, we've already got a really good internet connectivity between central office and the schools.
Mhm.
This is basically from Johnson County out to the world, through Knoxville, through Nashville, and out into the world. That's the part that they're gonna be increasing.
Okay, you was talking about possibility of hacking. Is there any information that's gonna be on these networks that's gonna?
The majority of this is
Harm way.
classroom instruction, YouTube videos, Google Classrooms, things like that. Our internet access does provide a conduit, for instance, for Tina's accounting software, which is cloud hosted. Our Destiny library software is cloud hosted as well, and that uses that same path. The biggest issue that we've seen in other districts in not Johnson County, but East Tennessee, all of Tennessee, I guess, is what we call, without getting too technical, it's where people try to flood the network with data, which causes a slowdown in the network. If we have a multi-carrier solution and they're attacking carrier A, then our network connectivity is basically unaffected because we still have 50% of our connectivity through the other carrier.
Okay, yeah,
So,
that sounds pretty good there.
Any other questions? All right, do we have a motion?
thank you.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve this.
Mr. Payne's made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Long's made a second. Is there any other further discussion? Okay, if you will, call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. All right, budget update. Ms. Litford.
Okay. And just a bit off subject, but it is the top of the score, and it's 4-2, we're up by 2. All right, the school department as of today is 74.36% of appropriations expended in the general purpose school fund, 26.07% of appropriations expended in federal projects fund, 78.68% of appropriations expended in central cafeteria, and Head Start, the fiscal year project, is 68.75% of appropriations expended, and these numbers are as of today. Sales tax collections received in April, which were for the month of March, were $197,388. Collections were up $35,294 from the same month in the prior year. And just remember that sales tax numbers are before the split occurs.
Property taxes look like they're coming in pretty good.
Well, we haven't actually received revenue for this month, so I'm not certain how they're gonna finish up.
All right, any questions? All right, Dr. Simcox.
Yes, you do have your list of retirees, and we will honor them next month, and we'll have a retiree reception at 5:15. Serena will remind you all of that. Graduation is next Saturday, and it's at 10 o'clock, and it will be outside on the football field as long as the weather prohibits. We do have a backup plan in case it looks like it is going to rain, and we will move in the gym. But if you all could be there by 9:30, and we'll meet at the concession stand like we did last year, and we'll walk in. Just a reminder that May the 20th and May the 23rd, which is next Friday and the following Monday, will be professional development days, where the commissioners allowing us to use 2 of our stockpile days. On the 20th, the teachers and assistants will be working on data. On the 23rd, we're very excited. We have a trauma-informed training going on for all our employees. In the morning will be all elementary employees, and it's going to be at Heritage Hall. In the afternoon will be all secondary, middle school and high school teachers and assistants. We're having everybody come in and do a trauma-informed care training.
And what is that?
That is mental health, not only of our students, but also for our staff. Just strategies to help with students who are having mental health issues, things to look at, to observe, to see what's going on, and ways for our employees to help take care of themselves. So we're excited about that training.
Any questions for Dr.
I have
Simcox?
just a few more.
Oh.
I'm hurrying.
No, I'm not rushing you.
Just a reminder, the end of the school day is a half a day on May the 27th. We would like to thank, and if you've not been able to be up on the base, I don't think they've got the baseball one up yet, do they, Herbie? But they do have the softball one up. But we do have the new signs for the baseball and the softball that's going on the scoreboard. But final touch, Jonathan Parker did a plaque for Pete Pavusik and his service and dedication to the baseball program. So we just wanted to say thank you to Final Touch. We did receive news this week, something very, very exciting for our system. The governor is coming to visit us next week and is going to do a 45-minute walkthrough at our vocational school. He wanted to come visit our vocational school. So Governor Lee will be with us next week. It'll be, like I said, a quick walkthrough of just some of our programs, and it'll be student-led, so we're really excited to have him come visit. That's an honor to have him choose our school system. We will be starting the budget process, so we'll be having budget work sessions, so we'll be getting in touch with you about that. And on a personal note, on behalf of me and my family, I just want to thank everybody for your prayers and your thoughts during the loss of my dad. So thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Matheson.
Yes, I've got a question. I had a parent that contact me this week. Said her son enjoyed lifting weights And he had contacted someone here about going to the weight room on the football field to use the weights. And he was told that he couldn't because that was for the football players. So I told her, I said, I don't have an answer for you. But she said, would you find out?
You know who she called? It wouldn't have. Mr. Henley's not here because he went to the softball game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that weight room is not open after hours. You know, I don't know if maybe they were requesting to be in there after hours, but she just needs to call Mr. Henley
Okay.
and talk to him. They do have a weightlifting class during the day. You know, right now football's in there in the afternoon, but it's not open at night for people.
Well, I thought, probably want to do, you know, during the time the football players was using it. I don't know.
Because right now it's their season, so they're in there. But if she'll call Mr. Henley,
Okay.
yeah, he
I'll
can
let
help
her
her.
do it. Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Matheson?
No, that's all.
Mr. Payne?
Yeah, just, again, want to offer my condolences to the Campbell family. Sonny was a great guy to be missed. That's all I got.
Ms. Reese? Mr.
Uh,
Long?
Yeah, I do. Just a minute, she mentioned Heritage Hall, we're gonna use it. We use that building all the time, and there's very few towns or places this size anywhere, not only in the state of Tennessee, but anywhere that has a facility like that. And I really appreciate Heritage Hall letting us use it, and all the years that they spent into doing it and keeping it up. It's just a nice venue.
That's true. Hard to believe we're at the end of another school year. I can't believe it. And Mr. Peak, you don't have much left, do you?
Yeah, it's sad. I'm heartbroken by it.
All right. Do we have a motion?
Just one second, I think 62 in the top of the fourth.
All right.
All right.
Good news.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right, we're adjourned.